What's going on, boxing heads? It's your boy Pro Kind of Boxing. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. Now, I told you guys in my live stream that Israil Madrimov boxing style resembled the boxing style of Jeff Horn, right? Jeff Horn, like Israil Madrimov, leans on his front foot, or over his front foot when he's throwing those left and right hooks, right? Which is a no-no in boxing, as we all know. Even though Israil Madrimov has some different wrinkles in his footwork from Jeff Horn, before he commits to his power leaping lefts and rights and, his stabs to the solar plex, he, for instance, he kind of shuffles and feints, all the way to the right. Then he changes levels and feints, kind of like Manny Pacquiao. It's kind of hard to get his timing, and then he has that bounce. So he used these kind of movements that can really confuse a solid, fighter, or off his square, enough to confuse a regular average fighter perception of the real distance, and he's effective at landing a jab or landing a power shot. Then Madrimov can capitalize and set up other leaping shots once he got his opponent like really off balance with his movement, speed, and angles and footwork. So it usually works against average fighters, but Jeff Horn, he also fought Bud Crawford, right, with the same kind of style. And he got caught coming in with those wide punches. He got caught in between punches. And, Bud Crawford was just too fast. He did not take that into consideration, the combination punching and the adaptability and versatility of Bud Crawford. And he was able to manhandle Jeff Horn, who was seen to be the bigger guy, right? And Bud Crawford, made sure that Jeff Horn knew that he was not stronger than him by backing him into the ropes and roughing him up. Right, he just tossed Jeff Horn all over the ring, up and down the ropes, and he had Jeff Horn looking intimidated, right, by the end of the fight. So Crawford, he knows he trains kind of crazy, right, and he overwhelms his opponent with his strength and his speed and his footwork. So I'm looking at Israil Madrimov, and I don't think he's going to have enough experience, to be able to adapt to what Bud Crawford is doing in the ring. So many boxing fans are talking about, Israil Madrimov's ability to punch and his size, as well as his unusual footwork. They think it will be enough to be a competitive fight against Bud Crawford. But I don't know about that for a few reasons, because Bud Crawford is like Bruce Lee when he trains. He has that Bruce Lee Napolian Complex, where a little man is crazy competitive to subdue and outdo any big man. They're extra motivated to a crazy level, right? Because, Bruce Lee, he would bring in and like, Kareem Jabbar, who was a Laker basketball player, even back then, in the early 70s and late 60s. And, he would bring them into his movies, and he would train with them, and he would show them that he was strong enough to defeat them in a real battle. Also, he brought in Chuck Norris, who was a world kickboxing champion at the time, and he made a movie with him, and he would kick their ass during these training sessions up to the movie, just to let them know that, even though he don't compete on a world level, but personally, behind the scenes when they were trained, he would challenge them, and he would show them, that he was the superior guy, right? So these guys were all big, right? And Bruce Lee was, but Bruce, he had that competitive edge like American Psycho, where he would be on the weights, he would train every aspect of his body to stay ahead of his competition. Even though he wasn't in any kind of particular competition, he wanted to be the strongest man in the world. And I do believe that Bud Crawford has this mindset. It's almost like he's an American Psycho. Whereas, he's just crazy competitive to the point where, he just can't conceive of any bigger man getting the best of him, or anybody really. And my hypothesis is that this is why Ricky Burns was able to go 12 and Victor Postal was able to go 12 because they were just considered small guys, right? You know, they wasn't perceived as bigger fighters, you know. So, you know, when he fought against Jose Benavidez, who was considered a big guy, he had to let go that American psycho inside of him, you know what I'm saying? Because he was considered a big dude who's supposed to be able to deal with him. And also, once upon a time, Jose Benavidez was considered, you know what I'm saying, a really top guy, you know what I'm saying, at 147. So, you know, Crawford was able to beat him, and you can see the crazy competitiveness coming out in him. So, you know, I really hope that, you know, saying that, you know, Israil Madrimov, you know, I hope that he understands what Crawford is on, because he is considered the bigger guy, just like Errol Spence Jr. was considered a bigger guy. And Bud trained for years. He got with Snack. He did everything he could to be able to prepare to beat Errol Spence Jr. So, you know, we're looking at, you know, saying a person who is totally obsessed with winning, right? And I hope that if Israil Madrimov wants to have a chance, he's going to have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears, you know, to really be able to beat an athlete like Bud Crawford, because he has this special mindset, this Napolian Complex, that puts him on another level as an athlete. And so that's a whole nother, you know, thing to deal with, the willpower and the craziness not to lose, because he does not know how to lose, right? So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of shape Bud Crawford's going to come in with 1 year off. He's got Andre Ward in his camp, right? So that's going to cover any holes that Bud Crawford may have in his game. And, you know, you got iron sharpening iron, a legendary fighter like Andre Ward. You know, he can teach you many things, you know, small techniques that will help him out in this fight. With Israil Madrimov only having 10 fights, but a whole bunch of Olympic amateur fights, you know, I mean, that's pretty good, but that's not going to help him against a legendary champion like Bud Crawford, right? Who's crazy competitive. So, you know, I mean, I'm just looking at it from, you know, what I've seen from Bud Crawford over the years. And, you know, even though people think that Bud Crawford is getting old, I think he's going to be in the best shape of his life. And, you know, Israil Madrimov, you know, I've seen him fight and I'm not impressed, you know, because he hasn't fought the kind of caliber of fighter as Bud Crawford. And once Bud Crawford get hit, of course, he goes into American Psycho mode, you know what I'm saying, and usually get rid of his opponents. Now, you know, I'm not the, you know, #1 Bud Crawford fan, but the man has been consistent and he is, you know, doing his thing, right? So he's moving up to 154, and we got to see how his body handles the punches from a 154 pounder. If Israil Madrimov can hit Bud Crawford with that shot, that's going to like really hurt him, that he can't recover from. So this has been Pool Kind of Boxing. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more hardcore boxing content. Peace.